皆さんこんにちは and welcome to Shogo's podcast. So today I actually have Kazu with me.
Hey guys.
Hi. So today, if you remember in our main channel, we actually made a video about talking about the outdated business rules in Japan. So we introduced 5 things that we still do in Japan that I feel are pretty outdated, and also afterwards I explained why it's like that in Japan and such. But, I introduced the 5 rules from my point of view, yes. But I did work in 3 different companies, but they were all in the tourism industry in Kyoto, and there were about like 1 year each. So today, Kazu, you work in Hiroshima. You've been working in the same company for about 5 years now? 4 or 5 years, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and in completely different industry, right?
Yeah.
So today I wanted to ask you about the 5 things I introduced in the video. I wanted to hear about your opinions. Do you agree? Or
Okay.
if you think it's like taking it a little bit too much, exaggerating or not and
Okay.
such. So I'm going to be asking you the 5 things and what your opinions about it, okay?
Okay.
All right, so the first thing we talked about in the main channel is meeting up in person.
Yeah.
For greetings, for meetings. In Japan, people tend to think that you have to meet up in person, not like online or phone calls to be polite, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think that's really true. Especially for like the sales representatives.
Yeah.
They would definitely meet in person. And so like you said in the video, like meeting in person would mean that you like are serious towards the job.
Yes.
Yeah, so for sales representatives and probably like the president of the company would definitely tend to go to the partners, just meeting in person. But recently, talking about recent years, the COVID virus has had a really big impact on how the workplace, goes. So like, I think now a lot of companies, don't want people to, like come in.
Yeah, exactly.
And so basically, like for my company, the sales representative now only uses phone calls or like, I don't know, video chats and like, so like Zoom, Skype, and Microsoft Teams. So those are the kind of tools that, they use now.
So the culture is definitely changing.
Yeah, it is changing.
Okay.
So talking about the culture, like the culture getting different, I think the coronavirus thing was a kind of a good chance, I guess.
I bet so.
Yeah, to like find new ways. Yeah, so definitely the environment is changing.
Yeah, because in the past I would say if you didn't like go and meet someone in person, they would probably think you were like a lazy person, not serious. But I think the culture is kind of changing.
Yeah.
Because there's no other way, because you can't go and see them.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. All right. So number 2, we talked about the stamps and the paper contracts that we have to do.
Yeah.
So I think it was online, an article about Japanese workers have to go to their companies just to submit these documents with the stamps. Because otherwise they usually do remote work, and they work at home, but during the day they have to go to their companies just to do the paperwork.
Yeah.
Is that true? Or does that happen?
I guess that is true for some companies. But where I work, we already started electronic
that's
digital
good.
contracts. So before we had that system, there were actually people that had to, press that hanko to come to the workplace and stamp and then make paperwork. But now it's all digital, so they can just press that stamp and then send it to us. And then of course I still go to the workplace. I don't work from home. So when I receive that data, I print it out and then like mail it to the customers. So it's like partly digital now.
Okay. Did that change while you were working? Within the 5 years you were working?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, because it's really recent.
Yeah,
then.
it is
When
really
it changed
recent.
digital.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because of course this the corona thing is one of the main reasons, but another reason is because recently a lot of environmental problems, right? And I think trying to use less paper is like one trend. So that kind of
also changed
also
it.
changed it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So then number 3, I talked about the upper and lower seats.
Yeah.
So the upper and lower seats are, if you go to, for example, like a party, for example, where you sit is determined by which rank you are within the company.
Yes,
like
yes.
even in elevators or like even in taxis, where you sit is already fixed. It's already decided for you depending on like if you're a boss, if you're a subordinate, you know. Yes. Do you still have that culture in your company too?
Yeah, there is, of course. But like this is all like what related to the corona thing.
Okay.
So like I think about this year, like about a year or a year and a half, we haven't had many chances to like a lot of people being in the same area. So that isn't like something we do right now. But like the first year I entered, you know, when I started working, I was really nervous about this, and I remember you know, remembering a lot of things like like when you ride a car, where should you sit, you know. So like I think in your video you introduced the taxi, right?
Yep.
But if you were, for example, to, you know, go somewhere with your company car,
Okay.
then the lowest person, the lowest ranked person has to drive.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a driver.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I did
so
not
that's a
know
little
about
bit different. But yes, definitely like riding an elevator. Yeah, you would. I would, you know, just, you know, get on first and then, you know, take the place where you have to operate the buttons. Yeah. Yeah, that's something that, you know, I think a lot of Japanese people still do, and I think that culture isn't gonna fade away that easily.
Yeah, that's so. Yeah, exactly. Are you taught in your companies to do that? Or?
Actually, I don't think many companies do that. It's like kind of like something you should know before you actually start working.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You're taught like how to write emails and like, how you should do your greetings to your clients and such.
Yeah.
But you don't learn about the upper and lower seats. You should study that yourself before you go in then.
I guess it's just like
Common sense,
common sense in the Japanese society. Like it's not a rule that originates from your company, right?
Oh.
Yeah, so like that's
right.
something that your company wouldn't, you know, teach you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's really interesting because for people who want to work in Japan, originally from foreign countries, they would have to learn this in advance.
Yeah.
Okay. That's something really interesting. Okay. Then number 4, let's talk a little bit about the business cards, exchanging business cards culture in Japan. We have the really small cards we always exchange with people who we meet for the first time.
Yeah.
Do you still have these rules along with it? You know, who exchanges cards first, you know, and how to exchange like your hand positions.
Oh,
and
yeah, definitely.
You still do that?
Yeah, we still do it. So I don't have that many chances to exchange business cards because I work as a translator at my translation agency.
Yep.
So I don't really go like meet up with customers and stuff like that. But when I do, you know, like be careful, like so the person you're gonna exchange with, like what rank is he, she, and and like my hand should be lower than his, hers, and stuff like that. I remember learning about that too. Studying
so that you were taught from your company then? No.
For that I was taught. But I like studied about it before starting to work. So
I think some companies are changing the name cards to digital as well.
Yeah, I've heard that, and I think it's easier to manage. But still, for the business card, I think that's gonna kind of linger on as well.
Yeah. Because I think the moment you meet that person and saying hi to that person for the first time is the most important part.
Yeah, it is. You know,
and business card is just like an item for that communication. You know?
Yes.
If you didn't have that card, it would be hard for you to meet up with the first person, not knowing his name, her name, you know, and try to talk. But you have the business cards, so the greeting is the top priority.
Yeah,
and
it
the
is.
business card is second. So it's not like the paper contracts.
Yeah.
It's a different purpose.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it'll probably last a little bit longer then. Okay. Then lastly, working long hours is a virtue. The last outdated rule we've introduced. So in Japan, like working overtime, like if you go home every day at a certain time, the bosses will, for example, think that you're not serious about the work or such. Do you think that this is true?
I think in most companies, I think it's still true. But but for my company,
Mm-hmm.
it's not actually that considered that way.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, because we do translation and stuff like that, it's easy to see whether this person is working or not.
Okay.
Because
okay.
of how much, words they
Oh,
translate.
that's right.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So like if someone was, working for like 8 hours
Uh-huh.
and then they only like finished translating like one A4 piece of paper
Uh-huh.
with like I don't know like 300 words on it.
Yeah.
That's like you're super lazy, right?
Ah,
right?
Okay, so the results are really easy
Yeah,
to see.
it's
Okay.
easy to measure,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the length and what's the context, and
Mhm.
so for us, it's really not. We don't have that much hesitation.
Oh, that's
yeah,
good.
leaving at like the second your business hours are over.
Uh-huh.
But I guess it's hard when you can't measure like
Yeah.
the amount of work that you've done.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, in most companies, I think there are a lot of people that still hesitate.
Yeah, I bet so.
Yeah, like.
How
going
about
home.
you when you just started working at your company? Were you like looking at your bosses if they're leaving or not? Or were you concerned
I
about
was,
that?
yeah, I was
bet
when
so.
I started. But like after like half a year, I think
Mm-hmm.
I realized that it's easy. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like I just said, it's easy to see whether I like worked or not.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, from then I just like go home when I'm done with
Okay.
what I should do in
Yeah,
that
yeah,
day.
that's right.
Yeah.
And the relationship was good. Then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's good. So I guess it does depend on what kind of work you do.
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
Mhm.
Well, for all the rules, like these rules depend on what company you are in.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So like a lot of
exactly.
people are okay with, digital contracts.
Mhm.
But then again, some people are not.
Yup,
So like
exactly.
that's like completely depends on your boss.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Like we talked in the video too. You
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
look at like where the company
Yeah,
is, like
yeah,
which
yeah.
industry is in.
Yeah.
exactly. So it all depends on that. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, talking with you, we did realize that in general, what we talked about in the video, the 5 things we introduced, is generally true.
Yeah, generally true, but slightly changing, I guess.
Slightly changing
Yeah.
due to the coronavirus.
Yes.
Then. All right. That was very, very good. Then lastly, Kazu, I
Yep.
wanted to ask you, what do you think, in the main video, we talked that these 5 rules are all bad things, right? Outdated, tiresome and everything. But do you think there are any good points about these rules? You can pick up one or you can talk all 5 of them in general. What do you think are the good points? Is there any good reason to leave this culture, or do you think we should completely change it?
I think one thing is the business cards.
Okay.
I think that's actually a pretty good culture because
Okay.
it gives you a chance to actually meet in person, right? And well, then maybe it's the meet in person one.
Maybe both. Then
Yeah,
too.
both. Yeah, because I guess meeting up online is okay,
Yeah.
but like when you meet in person, you like know that person's like kind of atmosphere, right?
Yeah.
And that's something that you couldn't like 100% know when you're like talking
Yeah.
between a screen, right? So I think in general, meeting it up in person is like really nice. Just getting to talk with someone
Yeah, exactly.
is
exactly.
nice, and I don't want that to like fade away.
Completely.
Yeah,
I do agree
even
with that.
if it's like for business,
Uh-huh.
I still want to like meet up with people and
Mhm.
So yeah, I hope that doesn't like fade away and like completely like for business cards shift completely to like digital.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I think I mentioned a little bit about that in the main
Yeah,
video
you
too.
did,
I said
yeah.
that if it's a really interesting car,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
everyone
yeah.
will be attracted to, it'll be a good idea. So yeah,
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
All right. Then Kazu, thank you so much for your time today. That was really, really good. It was really interesting.
really fun.
Yeah, it was really, really fun. All right. So guys, if you want to take a look at the video we've been mentioning in the main channel, it's inside the description box so you can check it out. And yeah, thank you so much for your time. All right. ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございまし
Bye.
た。